Marika, hey, congratulations for Ditched.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
I know this was such a horror thriller. I don't know. I'm addicted to these type of films for someone
Yeah,
who is.
that's good. I wasn't a horror person before Ditched, and it was a really good opportunity to get myself out of that and like face my fears, literally. And yeah, it was a really good opportunity.
Wow. So this must have been quite a brand new experience for you at
Yes,
all.
yes, I hadn't acted in any scary movies or horror films, and so it was a good opportunity for me to flex that muscle.
So what initially attracted you to a project like Ditch? What basically like drew you in like you know what? I have to do this.
Well, the simple fact that she is Indigenous was one of the main reasons why I was so attracted to playing this character because I believe so much in equal representation in the mainstream media. So it was a great opportunity for me to portray Melina as Indigenous as she is in the mainstream media and in a feature film.
Now, what I was going to bring up the point of in being indigenous for a film like this is because it's not exactly an indigenous role, but it is portraying basically indigenous people in a much more, I don't want to say
Right.
normal setting, but you know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's great. I think that often Hollywood likes to put the Indigenous people back like 100 years, and they kind of forget that Indigenous people are here with normal jobs as well. So it was a great opportunity to portray a strong, independent Indigenous woman in a power position and in a job where she's a paramedic and she's yeah, she's strong, she's brave, and it was a really good opportunity to kind of break down Hollywood's stereotypical version of how they like to portray us.
If you don't mind me asking, could you talk about your indigenous background?
Yeah, so I am Inuit from the Inuvialuit tribe in Tuktoyaktuk. So that's basically as far north as you can go in Canada until you hit the Arctic Ocean. And so my father grew up there. And I was born in Yellowknife. We stayed there till I was about 5 years old. And then we moved to the Rocky Mountain, the small town in the Rocky Mountains, right around Banff, Alberta. And that's where I grew up.
So how did this path lead you into acting for yourself personally?
Well, I think that by the time I was about 9 years old and obsessed with the movie Miss Congeniality, I kind of knew that I wanted to be an actress. And I was really interested in the activism work that was going on when I was about 15 or 16, watching Greenpeace and everything that they were doing. And so I thought, how can I build a platform where I can speak about important Indigenous rights issues and climate issues? And so, being an actress, I thought I can build my platform where I can speak about important issues and make a change, make as much of a positive change in the world as I can.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the character that you actually play because this is your first horror film.
Yeah.
How did you get into the headspace of that character?
Well, so playing a horror, I feel like you really have to just like release and let go and like not worry about your ego or how you look. And so it was a really fun opportunity and a way to express myself in a way that I hadn't on film or TV yet. And it was a good opportunity for me to just release completely and let go of of those worries that sometimes creep in as an actress, like how do I look, how did this, and it was a great opportunity to let all that go and to just focus on the story and telling the story.
I was going to say your character is a paramedic in that uniform. I can't imagine that was comfortable of production, running around and, it's, I'm actually amazed you kept it so clean.
Clean. Oh, yeah. I mean, like with Hollywood, right? You got to look good. So, like, even though we're in it's like life and death. It's like you still got to look good, right? So, it was a really fun experience. Obviously, we filmed all this before COVID. So being in a tight enclosed space in that upside down, filming in that upside down ambulance was a little bit easier than it would have been during COVID times. So luckily we filmed it before. But yeah, it definitely had its challenges. And the team was just awesome in general, the wardrobe team. We filmed it at a good time of the year, so it wasn't too cold. And it was a good experience.
I was going to say, usually it's kind of cold in Canada, but it sounds like being in the middle of nowhere is not, I guess that comfort was actually on your side, kind of.
Yeah, totally.
Now tell us about this upside down ambulance. So they actually did flip an ambulance upside down for the film. They didn't really have to build like a set or nothing, and it was in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it was. It was. We had to drive. We filmed around Edmonton in the Edmonton area, and it was pretty much in the middle of nowhere. And it was a nice drive every morning to get to set, and it was pristine, I'd say.
How was the nighttime shoots for was that difficult and challenging?
I feel like for myself, I'm kind of more of a night person, so it was not too hard for me because my schedule seems to always be flipped anyways. And my plan was to get on a regular human schedule before the film, and then I booked the film, and I was like, well, I might as well just keep this schedule until after the film because we were filming pretty much like all night and then like sleep for 8 hours during the day and then back to set. And so luckily I had already been on the schedule, so it didn't affect me too much. But I know that for some of the crew that had a normal schedule, it was definitely more challenging for them. But we managed, and it was a really fun experience.
Did you have to do any special preparation before taking on the role like this? Know a little bit on how a paramedic works?
Yeah, I feel like with any role that I take on, I just try and be more prepared than like over prepared versus under prepared, because I would much rather show up on set feeling confident, knowing what I know. And so I worked with an acting coach, and she really helped me get in character and find different ways that I can tell the story. And so that really helped, and I was really grateful for that.
Now, what about the stunts itself? It seems like you did you do a lot of your own stunts on a film like this?
I think I did all of them. Yeah, I did all of them. But luckily there wasn't anything too crazy. So
what's the joy of doing your own stunts on like a film like this for you?
I specialize in stunts and special skills anyways. So anytime I'm able to do my own stunts is good for me, because then I'm able to flex and strengthen that muscle. But I also just like to be the kind of actor where I make it easier on the production team, where they don't have to worry about editing as much, because they don't have to worry about catching the stunt woman's face. It's like I just like being able to make it easier on the production team. So it was fun. It was really good for me to flex that muscle.
Do you like to seek those type of roles, like if you're all acting but you're also doing your own stunts at the same time?
Oh yeah, I mean, like, to me that's the dream, is to be doing all my stunts and special skills really the dream is to be doing roles where I can like use swords and nunchucks and staffs and stuff. So luckily I booked a role recently that and filmed a role recently where I was able to use the staff, which was super fun. And so my goal is just to continue to book roles where I can where I can use my special skills and stunts and everything, because that's really the dream for me.
Wow. It sounds like you have a lot of special skills. So that basically tell us like don't mess with Marika is what you're trying to say.
That's funny. That's one of the most common comments that I get on my stuff is like, yeah, I wouldn't mess with you, which is funny because I'm like, I feel like I'm just like a nice person and like I don't feel like I'm that intimidating, but then I'm like, okay, I guess I understand because I do all these things in martial arts and stuff, so I get it.
Now, how much fun do you have on a horror set like this for yourself? I mean, this movie was incredibly, at least to say, gory.
Yeah, it was so gory. It was really a good opportunity for me to see like how the prosthetics and stuff work, because I have been so scared of horror films and scary movies like ever since I was a child. And so it was really good for me to see how all that works, so that when I'm watching other movies, I'm like nowadays I'm not as like I don't have to close my eyes anymore. I'm more so like looking at, okay, how did they do that? Like what angle did like how did they make that look so real? So it actually really helped me watch scary movies. And it was just fun. Like I just felt like a kid again on set, like seeing how everything works and with all the props and the makeup and everything. It was cool to see.
So I'm curious. Have you seen this film Ditched yourself yet? And how did
Yeah.
you watch it?
I saw the premiere in Edmonton at the Edmonton Film Festival at the Cineplex downtown, and so that was really cool to see the movie like literally on the big screen. And yeah, it was a fun experience. It was a good premiere, a good turnout, and yeah, it was cool. It's always so weird seeing yourself on camera though as an actor. I just think everything is cringy because I'm watching myself. Anything that I'm in, it's like hard to watch. But I think a lot of actors would agree that some actors don't even watch themselves on camera. Um, so yeah, it has its challenges, but it's always kind of cool to see just everything come together.
It is always funny because I always wonder if actors are scared for themselves when they're watching themselves in a horror movie like this.
Yeah, definitely not. No, it's more so like is it believable? Like, did I sell the shot kind of thing? But yeah, no, it was cool. It was really cool.
Terrific. So let me start wrapping things up with you, Marika. So what's next for you for yourself? Are you having more projects down the line, or you want to do more activism?
Yeah, so what's next for me actually is I'm stepping into the producing and the directing side of things. And it's interesting that you asked me what's next, because that's the name of my documentary that I am filming and producing. So basically, what's next is, and the premise of it is what's next on Canada's Red Path to Reconciliation. With all the activism work that I do with the Indigenous community, I think it's important to provide Canadians one source of content where they're able to go to and watch 90 minutes of the Indigenous community speaking about important issues and giving advice to Canadians on how they can help move towards reconciliation, and what we need to be doing as Canadians and as an entire community and nation, what we can be doing to move forward in a good way.
Absolutely. I can't wait to check that out. Marika, hey, thank you very much for speaking to us. You're such a joy. Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, not a problem. Next time. Bye.
See you.